Well, this is part of my Seed to Harvest series, and I promised I'd show you all my successes and all my mistakes. I made a very big mistake, so that's what I'm going to show you next. Hey guys, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name is Chris. If you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or heck, even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. And you can kind of tell behind me we got snow last night and a hard freeze, and it is cold out here. It's about 25 degrees right now, and this is April 7th, so it's a little bit late for us to get snow or anything like that, but it's not that late. Our average last frost date isn't until April 20th roughly, so it's really not that unusual that we would get this kind of weather this time of year. I was prepared for it. I have my low tunnels all set up, but I made a big mistake. I did not get these things covered in time, so all my cold season vegetables are all covered with snow right now, and I got a feeling I'm going to lose them all. But honestly, it's not that big of a loss. It's really hard to grow cool season crops like your broccoli, your cauliflower, your cabbages, those kinds of things. They do better in the fall than they do in the spring, because around here it's like we get spring where it's cold like this, and then next week it may be 80 degrees. And then it just seems like the 1st of May, it just gets to 100 degrees in no time, and these crops don't do that well in the heat anyway. So I put them in the ground awful early. They really haven't been growing too much because the weather just has been a little bit cool, a little bit too cool for them. They're not dying, but they haven't been growing too much. And I'm afraid they're not going to get up and going before the heat of summer hits anyway. But, you know, anyway, we'll just see how it goes. But I will tell you something else. The reason that I just didn't worry about this too much, it was kind of laziness is the reason I got to this. But, it was a super busy week at work all week long. We had a hard freeze earlier in the week, and I was at work from 6:30 in the morning. I didn't get home until 9:30 that night. We had a client visit and just lots of stuff going on. Had to work in our office. It's about 65 miles away, so I had a long drive home. I didn't get home till 9:30 that night. There was a hard freeze coming. I knew it, but I was just wiped out and thought, well, maybe they'll make it through. Maybe it won't be that bad after all. And no, it was a pretty hard freeze. So I came out the next day or next 2 days, and all the plants were looking like they were kind of shriveling up a little bit. They looked like they'd been sunburned, which is the indication of a hard freeze hitting them. All of them except for the lettuce. The lettuce is doing pretty good. The romaine right down through here, and it may make it through this snow. I don't know. Some of the broccoli over here actually looked pretty good. We'll see how it fares through this, but chances are I've lost pretty much all of this, but not that big a deal. I got warm season crops getting ready to start, and they'll be going in the ground here in a couple of, here in about a month anyway, and we'll get the garden going again. All my, I don't know if you can see it over there in the side, all my garlic and onions over there, they'll do fine. They can handle these freezes, no problem whatsoever, so I'm not worried about those at all. It's this stuff right out here, which is, let's see, I've got Brussels sprouts over there. They didn't do well. I've got cabbage up there. Cabbage actually looked like it was growing pretty good, but the rabbits were getting in and eating it, so I was kind of getting ready to lose that anyway. I've got broccoli growing right here, and it wasn't doing great, but it wasn't doing bad. We'll see if it makes it through this freeze or not, but either way, like I said, big mistake that I made, not getting them covered for that first hard frost. And then yesterday I knew this was all coming, but like I said, they were all looking so bad anyway. I just said, oh, forget it. I'm not going to go out and mess with it. It was so windy when I got home yesterday that I didn't want to have to fight this plastic in the wind. And like I said, they were pretty much lost anyway. So I just kind of let it go. We'll start the spring garden or the summer garden here in a couple of weeks and get the warm season crops growing. And who knows, maybe some of this stuff will make it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, stick around, guys. This is part of my Seed to Harvest series where I'm going to take you through my whole gardening season. Big mistake I made right here, but the rest of the season, I think we're going to be just fine. And I'm going to take you guys through that. If you're new to gardening, I will make sure that I give you some great tips that you can follow along, and you can have a great harvest at the end of the season. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, God bless.